Mulan, loyal, brave and true. In a small Chinese village lived a young girl named Mulan. While Mulan tried her best to always honor her family, this noble goal proved quite challenging for her. One morning, while helping her father round up chickens, Mulan chased one feisty bird round her village's sacred shrine and accidentally broke off the guardian phoenix's statue's left wing. Mulan's pursuit of the chicken wreaked havoc on the village, and the townsfolk shook their heads with disapproval. That night, Mulan tried to fix the broken phoenix. Her father joined her, and together they watched the wings slide off the statue. Mulan was disappointed, but her father bent down and pressed the phoenix's wing back into place. He told Mulan the lesson of the phoenix, that failure is not fatal. What matters is that each day you rise up and continue. Mulan took her father's words to heart and vowed to rise up like the phoenix and bring honor to her family. As she grew older, Mulan did her best to make her family proud. Soon it was time for her to visit with the village matchmaker. The meeting was going smoothly until Mulan noticed a large spider on the table. Thinking fast, Mulan used the teapot to cover the uninvited guest. The matchmaker, displeased, ordered Mulan to move the teapot. As Mulan did what she was told, the spider sprang forward. Startled, the matchmaker fell backward, upending the table and the tea set. With a loud crash, the teapot and teacups shattered on the floor. The matchmaker shooed Mulan's family out of the house, trumpeting their failure to raise a proper daughter. Just then, a noble magistrate rode into the village. He announced the country was at war, and every family must contribute one man to fight. That night during dinner, Mulan begged her father not to go to war, but he refused to listen. Knowing her father would not survive going to battle, Mulan snuck out of bed and grabbed her father's sword. The blades engraving read, "Loyal, brave, and true. The three pillars of virtue." As Mulan looked at her reflection in the blade, she made her decision. She would take her father's place in the army. Mulan, disguised as a boy, arrived at the military encampment. Training was grueling, but Mulan stayed focused and persevered. While they trained, the soldiers were reminded that stealing, desertion, and dishonesty were punishable by death, or worse, disgrace. Life in the barracks, where Mulan's secret could easily be discovered, was no easier for her. Mulan couldn't believe how men talked about women. All they cared about was how women looked and how they cooked. When Mulan described her ideal woman as funny, smart, and courageous, the other soldiers laughed. But as time went on, Mulan befriended her fellow soldiers, including a very handsome one. One day, the two faced off during training. Her friend leapt at Mulan, but she moved with undeniable strength and spirit, twirling her spear so fast she seemed to defy gravity. The other soldiers stopped to watch as Mulan defeated her friend in an impressive fashion. Commander Tang, the camp's leading officer, noticed Mulan's talents and taught her how to connect with her chi, the vital life force believed to flow through everyone. Mulan practiced day and night, and she learned to control her energy. After much training, Commander Tang's battalion met the Ruan army and their leader, Khan, head-on. Mulan found herself facing Khan's ally, the witch. The two battled, and one of the witch's daggers struck Mulan in the chest. The witch left, believing she had won the battle. But the leather bindings of Mulan's disguise stopped the dagger from injuring her. Feeling defeated, Mulan looked at the inscription on her sword. "True," she read aloud. In her heart, she knew what she must do next. Mulan rode through the canyon, unstrapping her armor and untying her top knot. Without her disguise, she looked utterly herself, fierce, fearless, and female. With her hair wild and sword raised, Mulan dispatched the enemy with swift moves. Once the army was defeated, Mulan strode through the snow towards Commander Tang and the other troops. Without her disguise, they could see her true self. "I am Mulan," she said. With her head bowed, she asked them to forgive her for her lie. Commander Tang refused Mulan's apology and expelled her from the army. While she was away, Mulan learned that Khan was headed to the capital to overthrow the emperor. She hurried back to warn the commander. With renewed respect, the commander put her in charge of leading the battalion to the imperial city. As the imperial army reached the city, they worked together to fight off Khan's shadow warriors. With the help of her fellow troops, Mulan cut across the square and sprinted to find the emperor. Mulan had nearly reached the ruler when Khan blocked her path. "The girl who has come to save the dynasty," he said, laughing. Then he attacked, his sword so swift and powerful, Mulan could barely defend herself. But Mulan would not give up. Incorporating the strength of her ancestors, Mulan connected with her chi, as Commander Tang had taught her. When Khan lunged forward, Mulan used the Roran's own energy against him, and he plummeted to the ground. With Khan defeated, the emperor staged a public ceremony in celebration of Mulan and promoted her to an officer in his imperial army. But Mulan couldn't accept. She explained she needed to return home to her family. The next day, people streamed into the courtyard as Mulan galloped into her village. Seeing Mulan, her father was overcome with pride and hugged his daughter. Mulan returned his embrace and smiled. She had finally brought her family honor, and she had done so by being her own truest self.